And we're back.
We are back.
The Bedouin boys.
Bedouin Banter.
What's up, y'all?
Ahoy, hoy. I'm doing good.
Got the same boys in the studio.
Yeah, same as last time.
Nice.
Same
Guess
as
who's
before.
Back.
Bedouin, Khalid, and Miguel.
The one and only.
And myself, of course.
Yes. Special episode. Because we got a lot of submissions from people.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Yes, I put up some questions.
I did. I did the same for the Bedouin Banter account, but no one participated.
Because I already participated in Khalid's.
Yeah, why not?
That's
Why
true.
not just do it twice, man?
Yeah.
You know,
Come on, man.
show me that my work means something.
Oh, is it you that runs the account?
Yeah, he does.
I'm going to cuss at that account more.
Yeah, please do.
Please.
For everybody out there that's listening. And thank you guys for listening, by the way. Numbers are up for Spotify again.
They are.
Yeah, Miguel, you're a fan favorite, it seems.
yeah.
It
We've
seems
been moving
like
out up.
Both you and
tweeted it
Bedouin.
early.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Thank
Both
you.
you and Bedouin. It seems like we've got uptakes in Poland, in
I did not know that was my demographic.
I bet that one Polish listener is listening for financial advice from Bedouin.
so he's like, wait a minute, this isn't. I don't know what a Polish accent sounds like. By the way.
I'm so glad you started.
Is it high for you?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean over here?
Is that...
Yeah, just tweak it. You got the controls.
Yo, what's up?
Yes, the usual technical difficulties here
up?
on Bedouin Banter.
Is this mine?
I think that's an empty one. I think it's the next one over.
Okay.
So
Okay,
Miguel's
this
just
is
tweaking
mine.
his own audio in his ears.
Okay, there you
There we
go.
go. Miguel the technician.
I see.
All right, guys. So we do have a lot of guys listening that are new listeners. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing.
you
Add
so
your
much.
comments to YouTube, whatever it is. I don't know if you noticed, but last time on YouTube, I actually added some extra stills.
Did you?
Oh, yeah, I saw those.
Did you?
Yeah, I saw the Tesla truck.
And you saw the Lego one as well that I
Yeah,
added?
I saw that.
So some specials. I put a little bit of extra effort just to make it a little bit spiced up.
I personally listen to it on Spotify and on Rami.
Yeah.
Because, like, usually when I'm in the car, like, I'd put YouTube on, fine, but, like, it'll be to the side, so I wouldn't notice any stills. Yeah. But I guess if you're working from home, doing a project or something, and you want some background entertainment,
It helps.
Bedouin Banter.
It helps. Although Spotify, they do this thing that I don't understand, which is they tell you the amount of people that have started and the amount of people that are listening. And the only difference between that is the people that are listening have listened to at least 60 seconds or more. So you don't know.
Are they listening to the intro, or are they listening to the middle, or...
Exactly. Guys, let us know. Give us comments. Be like, you know what? Fuck that intro. I don't want the intro's too long.
Yeah.
Like, give us something.
Constructive criticism. I mean, we have a big vision for 2020, and we want to tweak everything so we can get a perfect podcast for you guys.
We do. So today's podcast is going to be like on the lines of a question and answer type of thing.
Yeah.
Because most of you guys have either submitted, Miguel has submitted his own questions.
Please.
You're awesome. But a lot of you guys submitted really interesting local content, questions about Bahrain. And I think, Bedouin, you haven't seen any of them, right?
No.
Good. No. That's what we're aiming for here.
Okay.
And Matruk has seen some of them.
I've listened to what you posted, but I can't remember. I mean, honestly, I got so much shit. I just can't remember.
Busy boy.
Let me just pretend I'm busy here.
Exactly.
Doing something with my life.
All right. So, getting straight into it then.
Yeah.
All right. So, the main topic was about license plates. That's what I asked people about.
Yeah.
Vanity
Car license
plates.
plate. Yeah.
Yes.
Vanity plates.
And specifically the whole idea, because I didn't get a response from Mazad or any of my contacts. People seem to be very difficult,
Apprehensive?
very difficult to get answers from.
Okay.
So I just want to remind people that no matter what we do to trash the whole idea of bidding on or auctioning license plates and stuff like that, we don't know where the proceeds are going to. We don't know if the money that's being auctioned, if a percentage of it goes to charity or not, if a part of it helps out social initiatives or something. So if that happens to be the case...
forgive us for if we trash.
Yes.
If we trash.
It's coming from a place of ignorance.
Yeah, it is coming.
It is. So a lot of people seem to be on that same wavelength, which is it's either stupid. It's say that, like, for example, Red said waste of money. Let people enjoy themselves, I guess. But typically a waste.
I mean, would it really be enjoyable for you to slap on a banging license plate on your car? I mean, if that's someone's idea of, enjoying? I mean, I don't really want to sit down with that person, to be honest.
You never really see it too, as well.
I mean,
you as the owner.
I mean, you'll see it for like a second or whatever, and the owner as well will not see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always had a thing with vanity plates, is those easily memorable plates. I always joke about it. It's like if you go for a hit and run and you have a very memorable license plate, everyone's gonna remember that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess there's a disadvantage.
I love that that's the angle you're taking on this. That you know one day you're probably going to fuck up that bad. You don't want to leave a trail.
It's like you might as well have a mixed salad of a license plate number.
I just don't understand, like, what other benefit are you getting? Like, if your whole life is self-promotion, I kind of get that, right? If your whole life is about, look at my lifestyle, look at my car, look at everything else, and you're building your brand based on that, then sure, I can see where you're coming from. But if the average person just has a sweet license plate, what's the difference?
Vanity plates, I mean, look, I'm not going to talk about the auction because like we said, I mean, we don't know if part of the money is going to charity or good causes. But the thing about license plates being very expensive in Bahrain is a thing right now. It is huge. People are paying huge money.
Could you give me a value, like an exact value? Like a ballpark.
Some license plates, like if they're like 4 digits, and
Did you send me that photo that has the auction in it from Mazad?
Yeah, I think so.
I can't remember what the number was.
So like 76,000 dinars, 80,000 dinars. Yeah,
that crazy. Bro.
Okay.
That crazy. And some numbers go for 100. I know a guy who's been offered 100,000 dinars for his license plate.
Wow.
Did he accept?
No.
Bro, is he rich?
He's your average.
Rich
So he's rich as fuck. Then.
Which, by the way, for the rest of the world is not appropriate because
There's
our rich is different from other rich.
There's one thing you have to understand about license plates in Bahrain is that back in the 80s and 90s, there were a lot of license plates issued. We didn't have a lot of cars, we didn't have a lot of people back then, as much people. So getting a nice license plate back then was very easy. You'd just go to the traffic directorate. You'd be like, okay, pick a number. Okay, fine. People didn't give a shit. Okay.
Well, are you talking pre-Wasta and pre them selling it themselves?
Yeah. So like in my household, we have some numbers that are considered special, but we didn't buy them or anything. We just had them for a long time.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? And no one really gave a shit about license plate numbers back then, but now people are offering mad money for it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They offered the mad money before. We just don't know how much because it's like you remember illegal street racing? Like that was a thing, and then I think it was the Emirates that kind of decided, why not just make it legal? Give them tracks, give them somewhere to kind of go crazy with their cars. Better they do it on a racetrack with some officials with other stuff going on, and not in the streets, right? So you allow that kind of behavior to be monitored and protected. And it used to be the same thing with vanity plates. You'd go to a government official who would be corrupt, maybe, and he's taking the money for himself. It's not going to any government program. It's not tracked. It's not, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if, let's assume there is like some kind of charity or cause or some percentage that goes to the rest of the government, circulates and goes back to programs, then at least now it's visible.
Now you're talking about auctions and
because
and all that. But there are people who are actually selling their numbers on like Instagram pages and whatever. There's a bunch of Instagram pages dedicated to selling license plates.
That's the guys. Some of them are even people that are flipping it, right? They buy some of them and then they flip it for more.
Yeah. Some people like they would undersell. It's a whole stock thing, and I think Bedr has an input about.
He's been very quiet about it.
He has been very quiet.
Oh,
you seem to have like some data that you want to share. You look like you have something you pulled up.
I mean, it's this license plates falls under the categorization of alternative investments. So they fall under the likes of postage stamps, paintings, pieces of art. So the core of its value comes from what's called utility. What do I mean by utility? You don't make money directly from that license plate. There's no dividends. You don't make cash. I mean, it's not a company that's making money and you're getting a piece of it. You're literally just making money from the fact that you want it, you enjoy having it, and somebody else might enjoy it more and would pay you real money to get that from you.
Fair enough.
So, I mean, the interest, and the thing is, you can't say it's right or wrong because it's a very subjective and cultural thing. Mm-hmm. A painting in, I don't know, West Indies. Can I say that?
Are you asking me if it's racist? Is that what,
I mean, I really don't want to use it.
I don't think it's like the Orient. I don't think it's like that.
Okay. No. It might, be worth something there, but for example, in the GCC, that might be worth nothing. So it's very cultural, so to speak. So that's why I don't think it's right or wrong per se.
Yeah.
It's just a very cultural thing. And it's actually kind of interesting because if you think about it, there is some systematic, what am I trying to say? There is some sort of mechanism behind it, right?
Yeah.
Like if there's more zeros in it, if it's, symmetrical. The same numbers are repeated on the other side. So it's kind of interesting to see that how these different kind of combinations get you different types of values.
See, this is the thing. I'm surprised that not that many people seem to back up the positives of it. I'm not saying that there are necessarily positives. Like we said, we're assuming there might be. But there's some people that did say, hey, if you have the money, if you've got it, you've got money to spend, why not, right? Yeah. And I'm surprised there wasn't more, because I've seen all kinds of people that call into the radio show, and their numbers are like legit crazy numbers. I'm surprised by the amount of people that have bought
Like phone numbers.
phone numbers. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't clarify that. Thank you. But yeah, that's so I'm assuming is there actually a majority of people that do have special numbers? They just don't tell people.
Bahrain is in regards to phone numbers. It's complicated because there are some numbers, for example, the numbers that start with 396. These are old school Betilco numbers. So the people who have, they're worth more.
Right.
The numbers that start with 35 or 33 or 36 are worth less. So even if you see like a number that's like
a
whatever,
fancy number.
like a fancy number, it all depends on the first 2 or 3 digits.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
To your point about how old school and how things have changed.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I'm actually glad they formalized it. Because, I mean, and if memory serves me correctly, it goes to the government budget.
So there you go. It's not dark money.
And you actually get an ownership certificate, which we say in Arabic, SAC. You actually get an ownership certificate.
For a license plate?
Yeah, so you do. You literally own it now.
Yeah.
What's interesting about it is, I don't know if you guys remember, 10, 15 years back when they added a digit to Bahraini numbers.
Yeah, people went crazy.
Yeah, for listeners that don't know, we used to have 7 digits.
Yeah.
And then they added a 3.
Yeah.
And that ruined so many sequences. So like, it makes me think like, oh my God, like,
See, that's why I don't want to invest my like if you're thinking of it as a business, I understand. Even if your business, like I said, is brand promotion, I understand, because it's for the gram, right?
Right. Sure.
But other than that, I don't know what the incentive in your life is. So now I'm going to go into this tangent where it's about what I feel like a lot of people, when you bring up art, when you say, oh, people have invested in art, they value something. Some people invest in dog breeds, right? And they'll be like German Shepherds or something that is like at an insane level, valued at an insane level with the lineage and all that. At some point, I feel like white people, and specifically Westerners in general, have this level of like, okay, we're going to spend the billions, but don't look at that, because we're doing these charities over here. So they have an understanding of
I see what you mean.
You see what I'm saying? It's a technique where it's like that episode in South Park where Kyle is trying to convince himself that Cartman isn't like, you remember the crack baby football games?
Yeah.
Do you know that episode?
Yeah, I fucking love that episode.
It's not a classic episode because it's
student athletes.
to explain to people that don't know.
Organization.
To explain to people that don't know that episode, in South Park, in that episode, they're making a criticism about the college football in the States, and the fact that a lot of these players, college players, are being like kind of mass produced and trained up, and their whole life is spent taking these injuries and all this other stuff, and then they don't really make any money.
Yeah.
Not off the EA licensing rights for the video games, not off of anything, right? Yeah. So the colleges, they kind of say, and they use this excuse, which is like, no, but we invest in their future, they have a home, they're doing it.
Yeah. And then,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
With football, the injury rate is so high that
which one? American
football? Yeah. Once you do get into the NFL, you're bruised and battered unless you're a superhuman.
Oh yeah.
Right? Yeah. And then the only way to make money with football is to get into NFL, right?
Yeah.
And that the people that get into the NFL are like what, 1,000 players?
Yeah, exactly. So your odds are already insanely low. Yeah.
Even I think it's the same with the NBA. Like there's a 1 in a astronomical number chance that when you start playing basketball in college, that you'll actually make it to the NBA.
Yeah. And you have to keep playing if you want to keep your scholarship as well. A lot of these kids are
to Miguel's point. The added danger is the concussion rate in the NFL. I mean,
oh my God!
As opposed to NBA, well, I mean, I don't want to like annoy basketball players. I don't know what the bad injury there is.
Yeah.
No, I can tell you.
Go ahead.
Go on.
Physical injuries are not even close to mental injuries because I like fighting a lot.
Okay.
Right? I like UFC. I like boxing.
Sure.
Yeah.
I like Muay Thai as well.
Okay.
And the thing with getting your head hit like 1,000 times is that it shakes up your brain.
Sure.
And you've seen it with Muhammad Ali.
Oh yeah.
Did you see what happened to him? He was shaking, walking
Parkinson's,
into the football. Yeah. Something like that. That happens to you. The worst thing that could happen to you in basketball death, of course, but that almost never happens. But also, you could tear your...
It's AIDS for some of them.
Okay, that happens outside of the football courts.
Sure.
But like, the worst thing that could happen is you could tear your kney or both of them. Right? That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
But with with the football, there's countless movies. I think the last one was Will Smith, where he played. It was a biography, I think, of a doctor that actually encouraged the NFL to introduce helmets.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah. Because he was like it was very controversial. It was, I didn't watch the movie, but I read the synopsis. So basically, they didn't wear helmets back then.
They didn't?
No, they didn't.
That's hardcore.
So he pushed and he lobbied the NFL for them to introduce helmets. And after that, rugby took over, and rugby is now the man sport, and American football is the pussy sport.
Yes.
But if I remember correctly, like there's an actual move in the NFL where you actually aim for the guy's hand with your helmet to make him fumble.
The guy's hand?
Yeah, like, because if I remember correctly, like, because you know how they're carrying the ball, and then you're supposed to actually like headbutt the hand so that he fumbles.
Okay.
And I'm thinking to myself, if that is a legitimate move, no wonder, like, there's head injuries, because they're actually using their heads for.
Yeah.
Could you picture like going straight up into a bicep?
Oh my god,
bro! Like that fucks you up, man. For real.
Yeah. Hey, isn't there something where the NFL is actually more dangerous, CTE wise, than the
They've mentioned
rugby?
that because they say it's because when you're playing rugby or a sport like rugby, you are less inclined to jump into danger.
Yeah.
You're much more smart about when you're taking the risk.
There's more strategy.
Yeah, because you know that you have to rely on your own intelligence. But if you're wearing the armor and you're wearing the body armor and the helmet and everything else, you're just throwing yourself into
You sort of get more confident. You're
more
like,
encouraged
I have this
to be
exoskeleton and
Yeah.
we good.
But it's a false sense of security. It's not really, because like you said, the small little bumps every now and then, the little concussions, they add up over time, right?
And,
Sorry, I trailed this thought into this idea, but I want to bring it back into the question because we're forgetting that the people have asked this.
Vanity plates?
About vanity, and not just specifically just about vanity plates, but the whole idea of if you're going to splurge, right?
yeah.
How come we have people that splurge a ton on money but don't do that PR thing that we're talking the NFC does or the NFL or anybody else? You know what I mean? Like you're saying, oh no, we got the charity, we got this, we got.
I think I can do tax incentives.
What do you mean?
For
them. in
Yeah,
the West.
Western conglomerates or billionaires or whatever, they get tax incentives to actually do
That's
that.
part of it. That's true.
So they're thinking to themselves, well, if I'm going to do it anyway to get the tax incentives, I might as well just do the marketing with it.
But that's what I'm saying. The PR side of it seems like if you're specifically going to get criticized for owning a freaking lion or a tiger or how many, like a menagerie in your goddamn house, you know, you play the PR game a bit. You know, I'll be like, yeah, maybe I own these, but you know, every tiger I take in,
I save it from the
I save
wild,
it.
or like they're close to extinction or some shit. Yeah,
exactly.
I'm keeping a gene pool in my house.
Maybe I'm not necessarily encouraging it, but it's at least a step up from "fuck you, I've got money." Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See,
like that's the idea.
The people that really won big with the whole license plate thing are the people that had their numbers ever since like the 90s or the 80s.
Yeah.
And you'd see like a beautiful number. Okay, like 4 digits, really symmetrical, really aesthetic, and it's on a piece of shit Toyota, and you're just like, bro, for fuck's sake, sell that number. With that number, he can buy a new car and he can buy an apartment.
Yeah.
Okay, but no, he's insisting on keeping his piece of shit Toyota because it fucking looks nice.
Yeah.
But
sometimes they do that. Like my dad did that with an expensive license plate once in Saudi, and he did it when we were young because he wanted to save, because you have to use it.
Yeah, it's parking the number.
Yeah, exactly. So he just parked it on a dumb car. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't meant for, it was like, I'm going to save it for now because I don't want to lose the license plate.
Sure.
So they put it on a shitty car.
But you can own the license plate, like Bedo said.
These days.
No, he's right. He's absolutely right. Before that, it was use it or lose it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how it worked in Saudi, but in Bahrain, I think you had to pay, if I'm not mistaken. Like, you don't have to park it on a number, but you have to, like, pay each year to lock it out.
Okay, all right.
And if I'm not mistaken, like, and if you don't, like, literally, people are paying attention. So if you don't use it, it's like
gone.
It's gone.
because there's a lot of I think the traffic directorate recently announced that you can buy your license plate. You can get like a little card that says that you own this license plate.
Sure.
It's like 100 dinars. You pay for it and you own it. Otherwise, every license plate that's not owned is owned by the government.
Yeah.
So they can take it away from you anytime.
Sure.
Yeah, I think so. I think that was the legislation. Something along those lines.
Sure.
Very true.
Don't quote me directly on that.
Sure.
My question is, and I don't know if I have a couple seconds to ask this, Khalid.
Yeah.
My question is, and this is very premature now. I think we'll see this more with time. What we've come to discover specifically with art is that it's actually not a good investment. So I'm wondering, will we see the same thing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the art is a kind of a hard sell as an investment.
But if it's already like pre-established classic art, that's different.
Even that.
Even that?
Yeah, they've done studies where they tried to test what's called the masterpiece effect.
Right.
Which is specifically
Like a Rembrandt or
the
something.
Rembrandts
Yeah.
and Van Goghs
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And even there, they said maybe out of 4 studies, I have in front of me, out of 4 studies, 1 study came out to say, yeah, it's valid, there's a masterpiece effect. The rest, they're saying, the costs almost don't justify the means.
This is you looked into this and
It's actually part of the curriculum of one of the charters I've done.
no way.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
They're actually
So, it's the opportunities actually are very
Hold
limited.
up. What about Star Wars figures and stuff like that? Is it the same or
I don't...
like collectibles?
if it's like a limited edition,
like
maybe.
the original, like the original Boba Fett toy that came out before even Empire came out is like insanely expensive. Like I think it's within the hundreds of thousands.
I mean,
So to quote, of the 6 studies reviewed by 2 authors in 2006, only 1 finds a positive masterpiece effect.
What?
So the rest is just, it's not statistically significant enough.
So it's better to just buy something that's an actual fixed asset. Like
I mean, it's a hard sell. It's a hard sell. I mean, like they say more often than not, you're probably not picking the right one.
right.
So I'm really wondering, is that going to be the same case with the numbers?
Do people even see art like that as a means to get money through?
That's the
flipping?
excuse. That's the most common one you'll hear from people that are art collectors is that no, it's an investment. That's their justification for buying it in the first place. And
even with some artists, some of their paintings are desirable, and some of their paintings, fine. Picasso is a huge example. There are some Picasso paintings like you can buy for like a very reasonable amount, and there are some Picasso paintings that are like, whoa.
Isn't he like a surrealist?
Isn't that Dali? Dali's a surrealist.
No, but like his paintings are weird. Sorry, I don't.
Yeah, his
actually
paintings.
know
His
the
paintings
meaning
are
of the
weird.
word
Picasso's paintings are weird.
surrealist.
No, that's the way I define weird in my head.
Yeah.
Surrealist. It's supposed to be surrealist.
We're on the same page here. I mean, I'm not really into art.
So when you say art, you mean like paintings,
Yeah,
like
paintings.
that? Because paintings, it doesn't really make sense for me for them to cost that much. Because you could Google, hey, what does this look like? And then you can print it out.
yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
I actually do agree. I mean, at the risk of sounding extremely
Dickish?
plebeian,
plebeian.
dickish,
Just using that word means you're not a pleb anymore.
Fucking high class.
I don't see like people will go to huge lengths describing an art piece. Oh, you should look at the colors that he used in the background, and he made and the background is moving and whatever.
I'm pretty sure they use none of those
I'm just
words.
like, bro, like it's a fucking painting, man. Okay, fine, I'm looking at it. Sure, that actually, when did that hit me? When I went to the Louvre in Paris, like I skipped everything. I skipped like the Louvre is a huge museum.
What's the Mona Lisa?
The one with the Mona Lisa. So I wanted to see the Mona Lisa in real life. It was the most underwhelming experience in my life.
But don't you think it's because they hyped it up?
The Mona Lisa is extremely hyped up, but like you know that's really tiny.
Yeah.
Oh, for real.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not as big as
tiny.
you think, yeah.
It's tiny, and like I skipped so many pieces of art. Like I went inside. Where's the Mona Lisa? Right there. Where's the Mona Lisa? Right there. Okay, fine. I just go there. I take a picture of it. I'm like, all right, cool. It's a good Instagram photo. That's it.
Do you know what's crazy? Like, first of all, before we get to this I want to get to the story because I didn't share it with you guys, but I want to see your reactions to it. All right. Sure. But first of all, let's go down the line of things that you feel like are notorious good investments as far as this collectible stuff.
Ooh, sure.
What's considered crap, right? So we talked about art.
Sure.
Right. Talked about collectible figures and nerdy shit like original comic books, right?
Sure.
What about cars? Like Jay Leno type collections.
Dude, here's the thing. again, you can just keep splitting this, like, these categories over, because everything falls under this alternative asset class, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can put in figurines, cars, and it's a bit weird because I thought about cars the minute I said
I was like, come on, that has to be like retaining its value, right?
I do not have data, but I remember reading an article where they said there is a skill to it. Like
Okay.
like there is a skill to pick certain vintage cars.
Yeah.
Like not all of them are going to be, but
Right.
but it has a special eye. Now, whether that is a good investment or not, I actually don't have data on that.
Right.
But I do remember reading an article like, yeah, you should watch out. Not all vintages are the right vintage.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Because like some cars nowadays are really shooting up in values. I was watching a video about the Hummer, the H1.
Oh, the original.
The original Hummer. They had a run in the late 90s, early 2000s. Those aren't as desirable as the 2006 model of Hummer H1.
Why is that?
Because they upgraded the engine, had a more powerful engine, and it was the only year where they produced this specific H1. It's called the H1 Alpha.
See those details.
So if you can get locked into those details, it makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
Sure. Like even books.
Yeah, but that's because it's kind of like collecting like jewelry, crowns,
Sure.
swords, right? Stuff like
Sure,
that.
sure.
With the old books, vintage art, antique books, and that stuff.
And apparently, if you get really skilled, you can actually you can really pick up if it's a first edition or not. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what that's sort of like the holy
Desirable.
grail.
Yeah,
Everybody was
yeah.
looking for that first edition.
Right.
But if you think about it in terms of what you get from that book, it's the same as the latest edition.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get the desire for that.
Can I, Khalid, can I just bring up one, because I just saw this yesterday. For example, with books, apparently there's a D&D book.
Yes.
Of deities and gods.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And there's one with Cthulhu in it.
Yes.
And apparently that it's a first edition and it's sought after because it was
Because Cthulhu was removed later on.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I might see, like, for example,
Because that was a violation of the intellectual property rights for H.P. Lovecraft. Yeah.
right. So that the rarity of that one that just makes it valuable.
Yeah.
So it's
This
certain-
is before they opened up those IPs and stuff. I know what you mean. Like there's certain things, if you've done the research, is a different story than maybe license plates, which I feel like might lose the value over time.
A very interesting.
but it might not. It might not.
It might not.
Because think about it, the sequence only goes up.
Well, somebody said, and it was Michael, I think, on if I'm not getting this wrong, I think it was Michael on Instagram. He said that for some reason now zeros don't count as a special thing on vanity plates. Is that, do you guys know what that means?
Oh yeah, because zeros automatically have a premium on them. Like the minute I don't know why. I seriously, I'm not knocking it. Arabs love zeros in their number plates, and apparently if you have some, that makes the number look nicer.
But why is he saying it doesn't count anymore? Like people are saying that, like if you have zeros,
I guess people stopped caring about
it's like, is the market oversaturated with zeros? It's like,
I don't know.
that's what I mean. If the government decides we're going to add more zeros to all the plates or changes something, you've immediately lost that value, no?
I don't think he was talking. I think maybe he was talking about common license plates, because if you have, like, for example, 6006. For example, that is a desirable license plate. People are going to pay mad money for that.
In Arabic, do you guys know what the term is?
What?
For getting a symmetrical number like that?
Should know.
What?
Gufl, which means lock.
Oh, okay. So it's bookended,
locked it
basically.
in,
Yeah, so you
It's
locked it as-
bookended. Yeah.
Do you want me? Do you want me to just give you guys something that's going to like really maybe piss you off?
Sure.
It's going to piss off Metruk.
Please.
Maybe. Have you guys heard of this heist in Germany?
With the axes?
With all this insanely expensive jewelry.
Yeah,
it's like
the
the largest collection
Medieval
of
castle, and
egg.
the heist was with axes or something like that?
No, they actually
Was this
had
recent?
they had little people. They had the same thing from like Miguel is going crazy.
That's
Do
crazy.
you remember the Asian guy from Ocean's 11? Where he comes out of the little tiny guy they put in the box.
Yeah, the gymnast.
Yeah.
I didn't watch
I'm not joking, right? This is a real heist that happened last month in November, and it was about 18th century jewelry of immeasurable worth, they say, right? And what German media has described as the biggest theft since World War II.
Oh shit! They were talking about the Nazis, right, with their gold trade and shit. Yeah,
I guess. So maybe this is karma for Germany. I don't know.
possibly.
In any case, they say a fire broke out at an electrical distribution point nearby, deactivating the museum's alarm and plunging the area into darkness. All right. Despite the power cut, a surveillance camera filmed two men breaking into the I don't know how to pronounce that, Green Vault at Dresden's Royal Palace.
Okay, wow.
All right.
Wow.
This is what's insane. They said it was a targeted manner, and they were in and out in an insane time frame. I'm trying to find exactly where the number was. It was like within minutes they were gone.
Holy shit.
They were alerted. The police at 5 a.m. local time. Suspects has escaped. A burning car was found in Dresden early Monday. So even their getaway car was found in a parking lot. It just burned.
Okay.
Completely just destroyed.
Is it a small car too?
No. There wasn't. Oh, no, they didn't mention it. I'm assuming it wasn't it. But hold up. They're going, the estimated value reported by German media, losses from the burglary could run into the high hundreds of millions of euros.
Whoa.
Right?
Euros. Shit.
So wait, they had dwarves and axes?
They did not have dwarves. The Axis part is not part of it. I think you're thinking of a different heist better.
Yeah.
This is another one.
What is up with Germany, man?
That's crazy.
But this one was insane because the level of security was crazy, and they were in and out within minutes. Like they had planned it inside and out, and the guys that they picked were specifically smaller gentlemen to be able to sneak through these set of bars and stuff. And they got it all out, and they just smashed the whole exhibit to get every little piece of jewelry, from swords, ancient tiaras, ancient like medals, ancient stuff, worth hundreds, priceless. They're like, we don't even know how to set the price on this. And you know what the worst part is?
What?
Because of the high value of the jewelry and the artifacts and stuff, they will never be able to sell it.
Oh, yeah.
So you know what they do?
Not even the black market?
Nope. Nobody will touch that.
Tell
It's
me
too
they're,
hot.
tell me
They
they're
take
going
it
to
up
melt it.
piece by piece.
They're begging them to not destroy it.
No.
The German media and everybody is like, please do not destroy this. Because that's the only way they can sell it.
Yeah, melt it and
Melt
sell
it down and sell
Yeah,
it.
because it's hot. It's hot. No one's gonna
Holy
take it off.
shit.
Isn't that fucked up?
If the value is that high, they probably have a client.
Do they?
Because they can't take it piece by piece
You mean
and
like
sell
a private collector?
Yeah, something
But
like
even
that.
then,
I see where Miguel is coming from, because, these heists, going through all this, all that thinking and planning and planning ahead and everything. You have to have like an end goal. You can't just be like, okay, I'm gonna steal this, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah.
If you go through that much planning, there has to be an end goal. So I see where Miguel is coming from. They must have someone that's willing to buy it.
yes, I know what you mean.
So sometimes it's an insurance scam.
No, come on.
I mean, they're not going to lose anything.
They're saying that estimated value is hundreds of millions. It's close to 1 billion, dude.
Yeah, so they're probably insured, dude.
So 1 billion?
I mean, the premium is not going to be $1 billion.
People insure their penises for $1 million.
No,
man.
but
Come on.
how much is the premium on something that is
Probably
valued at billion? Like, how do you even adjust for that?
I don't know, probably very high. But they take into account, obviously, the cost of what you're covering and the likelihood as well. So I don't know, it could be, and don't forget also insurance companies also, they put into effect, like if you put in security, they drop your premiums.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. Maybe.
Damn.
A better. What's a premium? Could you explain that to me, please?
Okay. So basically you pay the insurance company money to cover you, right? That's called the premium.
Okay, I
So,
see.
Yeah,
So they decide how much that premium is. So if you're driving your car, for example,
perfect
and you're a
example.
reckless driver, because they do this stuff in the States now. I don't know if they still do it, but they were doing it at the time when I was there. If you took this USB stick, you added it in your car, the insurance company can track how you drive. And if you're a good driver, your premiums go down.
yeah.
Okay.
So they can see your speed, they can see everything.
Or you're over
That's why in Bahrain,
60.
in Bahrain, if you try and insure your car and you're less than 21, you pay more on your
Is
insurance.
it 21 or 25?
20? What? I can't remember.
There are certain cars.
That's a good question. I can't
There are
remember.
certain in Bahrain with certain cars in certain age groups. The premium is insane.
Yeah, any car with 2 doors.
Yeah.
In Bahrain, is considered a sports car, regardless of what it is.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, any
Just
car.
2 doors.
2 doors is considered a sports
Even
car.
if it's a fucking Mini Cooper.
I was gonna say, no, Mini Cooper can be fast, but what about a smart? Like seriously?
Oh, that's a good question. I think that the default is 2 doors equals. Like
I
for
think
the one
their
that
premiums would be high in that car because they know
It's a
you're gonna
death trap.
die. Yeah.
it's just like this is one of those one-time use cars only, right?
Is this a disposable? What is this?
But my question is, like for example, the Pajero has a 2 doors. So is that a sports car? No. And by the way, for our Spanish speaking friends, that's the Samurai.
Wait, they call it the Samurai in Spain?
Yeah, because Pajero means something terrible in
really?
Spanish.
What does it mean? Can we even say it?
But I mean, you could. I just, I don't want to.
All right.
We'll leave that to the imagination.
So obviously, the world of value and how people determine it seems to be very subjective, especially in this part of the world, right?
Extremely.
Like, what's the craziest heist we've ever had here?
In Dubai.
What was it?
Jewelry, like came in BMWs. They went to a mall. It was like
It's always a BMW. This heist, BMWs.
Yeah, but they're in Germany, though.
Yeah.
Right? But
Yeah. Would you like to take all of us and take a heist? Why don't you consider BMW?
No, but I noticed that, like when it's drug running across the border in Europe, it's an Audi. All the drug dealers, it's like Audi is the drug dealer car. But if you're running a heist or you're a hitman, it's a BMW. Yeah.
What is this? It's an Audi. We're not drug smugglers, right? We're going for diamonds, right?
You look like you're
He gets thrown off the crew.
I'm always extremely fascinated with heists. Like, these are smart people.
Yeah.
I mean, if you put like a mad security system and these guys manage to break it, I don't think they should be jailed, man.
Right.
Dude, that's some professionalism right there.
Seriously, with timing, with discipline, with everything, just keeping calm under pressure.
Yeah.
That is a skill set that not a lot of people have. It's just like, how with some hackers, like with people who manage to break into the NSA or whatever, they don't, not all of them go to jail. Some of them are recruited to become consultants. A big example
They
of
have
that.
prizes for that as well.
Yeah, they do. And big example was Catch Me If You Can, based on a true story.
Yeah,
Leonardo DiCaprio, where he forged checks and shit.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, he served a stint in prison, but after he got out, he didn't serve a stint. I'm not sure, but basically he worked with the FBI to see forged checks. He was a consultant for the FBI. Now he has his own company.
Yeah.
I don't know where.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing, right? Any security company pays millions and millions to find vulnerabilities in their code.
Yeah.
And when someone hacks into you, they're basically doing that for free.
Exactly.
So unless they do damage, fucking recruit them.
Well, there was that guy that he was trying to prove to Facebook that he could break some security measure they had, and he was trying to get their awarded prize because they set money aside to be like, all right, you're able to break our security system, you get this money.
Yeah, sure.
So they literally want you to try to do it, so they can double verify whether or not the security systems are bulletproof. I guess.
Is that what's called ethical hacking?
No, that's
No,
different.
it's not.
No.
So what happened to him?
Yeah, that's like a competition. You basically say, I'm going to put up millions of dollars.
Yeah.
You can break this. You can break into our system. You get the money because you've shown us what our vulnerability is.
So what
and that's
happened?
what they want to know. The guy broke in. He got the money.
I got the money.
Yeah, he got.
So there was a happy ending. It wasn't like Facebook was like, no.
I think he was the guy that actually showed the vulnerability of. I can't remember if it was one of the games. You remember when that whole scandal happened with the what was the company?
Zynga?
No, the guys that got a huge, like, they were in the news for a while from the UK that had mined everybody's data through the apps that people would install.
Cambridge
Yes,
Analytica?
thank you.
Yeah,
yes,
Cambridge yeah.
He tracked something very similar through one of the apps earlier on before that happened, I think, and he broke in, got it. So I don't know about I don't have the exact information, guys. Just look it up, and you'll see a ton of this stuff happening all the time. People don't know about it.
Yeah.
Which gets me to this other point. When I was talking to my wife, Sheda, we were watching the serial killer movie, True Story. And one thing that clicked in my head, and you're a big fan of serial killers, but
I just love how you placed that and you smiled at me.
I did.
It's no coincidence that one of your favorite movies is American Psycho.
Yes.
No, it just happens to be, right? So what I was going to say is we watched that movie and something clicked in my head. I was like, you mentioned, Matruk, how like these people that do heists, they're so impressive because of their skill. I was thinking they're so impressive because they can shut the fuck up after they do it. Serial killers can't. They want to be caught because they want to be famous.
Yeah.
A good heist man like these guys, you're never going to know their name.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're
Do you know what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah.
A good hitman, you're never going to know his name.
Do you think that heists are... I mean, Rick and Morty really touched on this in their latest episode. Heist movies are really glorified. Really over the top.
And there's a series of events that's very unique.
Yeah.
But
a formula.
it's so repeated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That it takes the sting out.
I'm in.
You son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch. And then the double cross, double cross. Fuck.
Actually, there's one hacker. His name is Kevin Mitnick. Apparently, he was so dangerous to the point where, like, the Secretary of Defense or something said, like, this guy could launch nuclear warheads by whistling into a phone.
What?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Was he just mimicking like the old 56K modems?
super dangerous, this guy. man.
Apparently, that was the one of the first hacks. Was what you do is you pick up a landline,
Yeah.
and there was a specific whistle, a specific tone that could click, and then you'd hear a click, and then it would actually open up the lines for you, and people would do long distance calling.
Fair enough.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and apparently one guy his nickname was Captain Crunch because he took it. Apparently, Captain Crunch used to have this whistle that had the exact tone that if you whistled into the phone would actually unlock the phone.
That is
No
insane.
way.
Yeah, I'm talking about way back, like guys like
Was it Michael
Rotary.
J. Fox? Was it? It's cool movies. But then, sorry, I'll cut you off, Misa. I wanted to get into that Dubai heist thing. You were mentioning how they were in
Yeah, apparently, if I'm not mistaken, God, I hope I'm not being racist for my my assumption. I think they were Russian. They came in with BMW.
Wait, is there an association with Russians stealing stuff? Is it-
I hope they're Russian. I didn't just plant that nationality in my head.
Okay.
Sorry, better. Just I gave you guys a wrong piece of information. It wasn't Kevin Mitnick, the guy with the whistling thing.
Oh.
Kevin Mitnick is a notorious hacker, but it was some other dude. I can't recall his name. I'm sorry. I just didn't want to give them false
No,
information.
fair enough. Fair enough.
We have no credibility here.
That's all I've been
I'm
doing.
trying. I'm trying.
The second we had a little bit of credibility when we got better, and then we ruined it with Miguel. You know?
Hey, I'm going to give you another false information. Breaking into security for the purpose of breaking into security is called gray hat hacking.
Gray head hacking.
Yeah.
White hat is the good hacking.
Yeah.
Black hat is the bad hacking.
Okay.
So better, you were saying these guys who
about
are
that.
supposedly Eastern European of some kind.
Yeah, so apparently they drove into I want to say Dubai Mall, and they went to a jewelry place. So it was like a very quick heist. They stole
In the middle of the day, you mean, or at, like when lockdown?
I can't remember the details. No, I think it was operational. It must be operational because
It's crazy.
jewelers generally take off their jewelry when they lock down their stores. Not that I've ever tried to steal one. I mean, just
It was,
Great.
observation.
have you seen that one with Zayn Jewelry? The guy that just walked in and took the main piece. You know how they have the display jewelry at the
Jewelry
busts,
convention?
the busts. You know when they put the necklaces on and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Wasn't even a jewelry convention. It was just in the middle of the store.
Dude,
There's a video out there, and I hope it's Zayn. I really hope I'm not making this up, but I just remembered the name. But don't worry, I know them. They're not going to hate me if I get it
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
But in any case, there is a let's assume a jewelry store.
Sure.
Don't take that for granted. That was just specifically Zayn. But the guy was just like loitering in the back, and you could see him kind of like cozy up to the thing, and he's like just getting closer and closer, waiting till like the other people, because there was apparently people that were working with him that came in to intentionally distract.
Sure.
And the distraction was so perfect that he just like does and just, you can't see my hands, but I just did a
Like,
spaghetti
bro,
flail.
So yeah, so
Sleight of hand.
Yeah.
Sleight of hand.
is
What
fucking
Khalid did
cool.
was not sleight of hand.
Slappity booba.
What Khalid did was obvious hand,
It was
bro.
the tentacle stuff. But yeah, he just slips it. I'll try to find the video and post
Dude,
it out
not
here, guys,
cool,
if I
man.
can.
Not
I'll try to
cool.
put it. If I can't, then it's, sorry. But in any case, that happens in this part of the world more than often, but we don't necessarily always get the slick ones. We get people coming in with swords.
Because a lot of criminals are fucking stupid.
Right? Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You rarely get good ones.
No.
And you were talking about serial killers too. A lot of them are really fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But they're operating outside of what normal people expect.
But that's why the Zodiac Killer was so crazy, because he didn't, like, usually they, like I said, they love the fame. It's part of the narcissism, right? They want to look how smart I am.
Sure.
Look,
Yeah.
it's like, I stole the Mona Lisa. I want you to know I stole it.
Sure.
Like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So it's the same thing for these guys. But then the Zodiac Killer, he just stops. So to this point that they even say, like, okay, maybe he just died. Like, he just keeled over, had a heart attack, because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't fit the profile that somebody would just stop out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And that's why it's one of the biggest mysteries in this planet.
apparently, do you guys know the difference between a psychopath and a sociopath?
Yes, sir.
I'm looking at one right now.
A little bit. Just a little bit.
Apparently, the differentiating point is, I believe, so you feel the three checklists is you're supposed to feel guilt, anxiety,
Right.
and I forgot the last one, which is S.
Stress?
Sympathy.
Sympathy?
No, I forgot what the last one is. And apparently a psychopath just doesn't have any of it.
No.
But the psychopath is genetically like that. Almost like born that way.
His brain does not work properly. Like a sociopath will feel anxiety.
And just to make a note, guys, people that are psychopaths, they don't necessarily always become serial killers. You can be somebody that's like, you've got no emotional attachment to things, and you've never hurt anybody in your life, but you're just a really good...
Sure, apparently they make excellent CEOs.
There you go. Yeah.
Apparently, no. I mean,
That's
It's so
true.
cutthroat,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
It's so
yeah.
cutthroat. You need to run over a couple people to get to. You don't need to, but it's the easier way to run over a couple
In
people
their
to
world.
get to that
Yeah.
position.
And they tend to gravitate towards the industries that are like that, that need people like that.
yeah. Apparently, like in the top 3 industries that attract them are like finance, journalism.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, journalism.
You can smell it in journalism.
Me, man, the amount of people who don't give a shit about other people in journalism is
so
deafening to me.
crazy. It's so crazy,
It's
man.
a dog-eat-dog world, bro.
Paparazzi is crazy to me. The fact that
Seriously.
you don't give a fuck about someone's privacy, someone's time.
But with those guys, you kind of can see a little bit of sociopath, not necessarily
Yeah.
because some of them are just like the world's fucked up. This is how you survive. That's how they think about it. You know what I mean? So they, in their world, they're like, "Fuck you, Matt Damon. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you, son of a
Do
bitch."
you know that story with Daniel Radcliffe?
What?
Where he wore like the same outfit for 2 months just to piss off the paparazzi.
No way.
That's cool. That's cool.
I always wondered, like, you know who would like? You'd make a ton of money if you could come up with some tech that would just instantly like flash and like destroy lenses. You see what I'm saying? Like,
it was show. It was,
That might be illegal.
like what? Burn somebody's sensors?
Yeah.
And why is that legal?
Because it's their property.
so like a little EMP device.
But it's light. Let's assume like it's an MP device or something like that.
I see.
It's like, why you around me, bro? Like,
Ah, I see.
There was a scene. There was
I'm waving my hands
Yeah.
in front of me. If you get there,
yeah.
There was a
That's all right,
scene.
you're
There
good.
was a scene in The Dark Knight Rises. In The Dark Knight Rises, where basically Bruce Wayne gets out of his Lamborghini and there's a bunch of paparazzi like, "Oh my god, it's Bruce Wayne!" And then he clicks on something and all their cameras just shut down.
That's what I'm saying. Something
Yeah.
that just burns out the sensor, and then you can't take the photos.
yeah. I mean, possibly.
I'm sure there has to be somebody who'll come up with that.
But
It'll be Kanye.
now that now that we're on the topic of paparazzis, do they don't exist in this region, do they?
no one's worthy. To be,
It's too dangerous, bro.
yeah, someone could smack you the
feel?
fuck
yeah,
up here.
yeah, it's too dangerous here. You can't like they exist, but usually the photos are leaked by somebody that is close to the person that's a celebrity, because there's a ton of money in it, right? So a lot of the Egyptian like gossip magazines and stuff, but most of them don't do it anymore. Like most of it has become business.
So is it just a Western phenomenon, the paparazzi?
Yeah. Because you can get away with it because it's public property. If you catch them, even if you're standing outside, you can see into their private wedding or fly a drone, and the drone is right outside of public property. That was the biggest issue before they had the laws with air, like what is it called, airspace laws, or whatever.
Yeah.
Air rights.
Yeah, air rights and stuff like that. The drones would just like take advantage of that shit.
Do you with air rights? Do you own the air above your house, your property?
Sure. That's
yeah.
that's actually that's actually how Trump Tower was built. Yeah, so Trump Tower was built on the corner it was built on. What Trump actually did is he bought the air rights above, so he can just build the whole building above.
Fair enough.
And to this day, if I'm not mistaken, in New York, you can buy the air rights above you, so you can just keep buying, building upwards.
So it's not a thing. It is a thing. Buying air.
I guess the
Like,
space. Yeah,
Fuck, man.
Sure.
yeah,
Sure.
you could.
That air.
I don't know
Put
how
it
much
that
it
way, it's
costs. I have no
ridiculous.
idea. How much it
Yeah,
costs.
I'd actually be curious. Badger, you're the man with the iPad. Can you
What?
Can you check how much air costs?
I'm sure there's some sort of pricing.
Well, let's get back to the idea of the drones. Have you guys heard of that thing where in Bahrain, in the airport, it got shut down a few weeks back because somebody flew in a drone, right?
Bahrain,
That's just
Dubai.
dumb. That's just dumb.
That's so stupid.
That's just dumb.
There's a
Whoa.
I mean, that's
They had to shut down the airport like temporarily, like just suspend all flights because somebody just flew in a drone.
yeah, dude. Come on, that's just reckless, man. Come
That's
People
stupid as
don't
hell.
understand that
It
that's
is.
a security threat. They're dumb.
Security threat, safety, man. You got people on
Yeah.
plane like flying metal.
Yeah.
Okay, can we just put it that way? It's flying metal, and you're like, "Ooh, I want to put my drone above that."
Yeah.
Oh, that would be cool.
But even if it wasn't a threat to the plane, it's just by legal law they have to ground those flights because they don't
They
know
have to.
what that is. They could be a bomb. It could be anything.
Or, I mean, let's just say it's someone that has no ill intentions. If an airplane takeoff speed is pretty high.
Oh, yeah.
So imagine a small drone just flying into an airplane
Yes.
and cutting a hole in it.
Yeah.
They're fucked.
Fly into the engine, bro. That's all you have to do.
It's
yeah.
not that high, yeah.
Wait, we're not giving out advice for this.
No, we're not. No. Do not do this.
I just freaked out for a second. I realized what we were.
There are huge legal repercussions for them, and they take this extremely seriously.
Yeah.
Yes.
Extreme. There's actually a problem in Bahrain with green lasers and airplanes. So basically, you know how Bahrain airports is like, you can see the planes coming in.
Yeah.
And some people, because I don't know like what kind of lives they have, they just sit around the shore and they take their laser and they point it at the airplane.
Not cool. Not cool.
That's fucked
Yeah, basically blinding the pilot from the most critical part of flying an airplane, takeoff and landing, from landing.
Why do we have that instinct? What's going
most
on?
critical, and it's the riskiest part of the
It is,
flight.
yeah.
The riskiest part, the highest probability of getting into a crash is takeoff and landing.
Dude, it's something about people that live near airports. No offense to Haragis.
No, it's okay.
You didn't have a choice in it, to be honest, right? But I saw it in the States. Apparently, it's a very common phenomenon where people that live by the airport, they just shoot at the planes. Like planes, like there's I'll look for the article right now.
Dude, it's not Atari. What are you...
They shoot guns at the planes. They're like, oh, I'm gonna shoot, and they're like, apparently yearly there's like a certain amount of like bullets that they just like, yeah, that's incidental.
Like, do you know how often it has to get to where even the pilots are kind of just blasé about it? They're like, all right, it happens.
We are landing in Florida, so everybody please remember, don't go into the lower base.
We're not gonna pack life vests in. We're gonna pack bulletproof vests. Seriously, it just boggles my mind. Yani, don't you have anything better to do? Like, go for a fucking drive. I don't know, do something. Why would you stand around the shore and point a laser at an airplane?
Some people are stupid, and some people are like they want to do bad shit.
And I come from an aviation background, so I talk to a lot of pilots. I interact with them, and they actually there are multiple reports of laser strikes or whatever they call them. They have to report it back to air traffic control. So they said the air traffic control would contact local police, and police would go to the shore and arrest these people because you are endangering lives. You got 200 people in an airplane, and just because you're fucking bored, like, oh, I got nothing to do today. Oh, I'll just fucking get my laser and point at shit. Fucking hell, man.
Yeah, there's no way I'm gonna find this on Google.
Like, may I suggest, I don't know, some tennis, maybe some badminton,
Something.
something.
I really wish.
Jerk off or something. I don't know.
I really wish you didn't tell me about the drone story.
I know. I'm so sorry. I have to. I keep getting back to something local. I feel like it just adds to
Why are you really scared?
Are you pissed?
Oh
now?
no, not it's because I remember I had a pilot friend, and I was telling him because it always popped in my mind. I'm like, there's birds fly around, so
Yeah.
What happens if it goes to the engine? And he told me, yeah, that's actually a case. It's called bird strike.
Yeah, it's very
bird
common.
strikes,
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's common. He's like, yes, there's sonars around the airport so that we try to get them away.
Yeah.
He's like, but it is a risk. Well, a bird will just fly in and just blow out your engine.
That's why when airplanes take off and land, generally, even if it's daytime, their landing lights are on, so it scares away the birds.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
By the way, Matuk has a background in this stuff because one, he's going to be studying a lot of the aircraft engineering stuff,
Yeah.
and also his family are all pilots.
All
most
of them.
Yeah.
Except me. I'm the odd one out.
He's the one that didn't.
Soon enough. I'll get into flying soon enough.
We'll get it there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We're almost at like an hour in, guys. So I just want to get back to some of the questions for the other stuff people asked, specifically like topics they want us to discuss. So back to at least the original comments we got from Vanity Plates. Totally unnecessary. That was whatever. I cook, whatever. I don't know what that is.
What?
It's the name for the tag. Tadra says, if it makes your heart sing, go for it, mate. And then somebody else was like, waste
I
of
like
dosh.
that. Carefree.
Oh, it's the same person says waste of dosh, but if it makes your heart sing, go for it. And then Asrar said, a bit pretentious. I can't think of a meaningful or personally beneficial reason to do that. We kind of covered that anyway. And that's most. Apparently, it's very common in Malaysia. That's what Zarina says.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Malaysia.
She paid the equivalent of 20 BD for her car's first plate. But I think maybe she didn't realize we were talking about like the extremely expensive ones. So I don't know about what you feel about that, Zarina, but
That's all relative in the end of the day, right?
Right?
Maybe that's expensive.
Did you know that in the States, in some states, I know California, they charge you in order to get your car registered, you have to pay a percentage of the car's worth
yeah.
in order to get it registered. So what a lot of people do in the States, if you get like a high-end exotic car, like $500,000, $1 million, they would register their cars under an LCC in Montana because Montana don't charge you that tax. Yeah. But if you're driving around in California with a Montana license plate and you're in a Ferrari or whatever, the cop is going to stop you because it's illegal.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
all right. So I got the questions. All right. Most of them are dumb and funny ones, like Miguel's.
Go for it, please. Please.
All right. So this is one of my favorite ones. Okay. This is coming from Ali, and he says globally malls are dying. So malls just in general.
You liked that one, didn't you?
I do, because it's a good question that I've always asked, right? And he goes on, he says, yet Bahrain is building malls like crazy, even with the low demand. Why?
You know, I'd love to go the simple route and just say that the weather. It's an environmental thing more than anything.
Oh, because we don't really have outdoors and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, when do you see people outdoors in Bahrain? I mean, this time of year, yeah. But wait until like late March, early April.
Yeah.
You're not going to see anyone outside.
But I think I would disagree. I agree with you on that. That's definitely an environmental factor for us. What I think I might, because I was thinking about it the other day, I disagree with Ali on one thing. I agree that mega malls, like huge, like malls of Emirates style malls, are not really being built in the States. But these smaller, like Mercado styles, these strip malls that are, it's like what South Park, it's Soda Sopa.
Yeah, Soda Sopa.
Those kinds of ones. These like little
Shitty Patel.
Shitty Patel. That's the one. So they're all like little strip malls or like little courts, like food courts. Not what do they call it? They call it courts, right?
Strip malls.
Yeah, but in the States they call it strip malls, but here they call it something else. They're like either mall courts or
it's something. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Little mini malls, basically.
yeah, and they're all about the hangout outside and look at the little hipster breweries.
I like that. You know, I like open air malls. They're pretty cool. But my biggest issue with malls in Bahrain is that they would open a mall and you'd have like, okay, so let's say, for the sake of, for just an example, City Center has these brands in it, right? And then you have the avenues opening up and they would have the same brands as City Center plus 5 or 6 more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a very slow process. Like, I'd like to see a mall built in Bahrain with completely new brands. Like, completely. Like, no fucking H&M, Victoria's Secret, or whatever. Something completely different. And we're not seeing that.
No, but
that's why the demand is low.
Perhaps, yeah, I would agree with that. But then that's the market that dictates it and what people are buying. That's unfortunately the issue with having our kind of a population. But what I'm seeing with these smaller, like, courtyard malls, they're not really retails. They're mostly service industry. So it's mostly the coffee shops, the restaurants, the little hangouts, the cafes, board game cafes. And this stuff was... back in the day, remember in Bahrain when you only had the bigger malls, you don't want to go all the way to the mall to do that. So now you have the option of going to your nearby, local strip mall / courtyard, whatever you'd call it. And you can just enjoy your little afternoon activity or evening activity.
Right.
And you get the small like Adventureland centers and, the VR stuff. And
Was it Ali? Was his name Ali?
Yeah, Ali.
Yeah, did Ali mention big malls?
He didn't specify, but if I had to guess, I'd say either he didn't make the distinction and is realizing it now, whilst he's listening to this, haha, by the way, or he just means malls in general, and he's specifically talking about big malls, like the city center.
I would assume that he's talking about big malls like City Center, avenues,
probably.
and all those. There's a mall popping up every fucking couple of months in Bahrain.
Oh yeah.
There's Atrium Mall apparently. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck is an atrium? Like, the last time I heard the word atrium was in Fallout.
Biology.
I was thinking like Rome, like we're just gonna come. You will fight in the atrium. Come with us. Be one of us.
So like, Look, I mean, it is like I said, it is an environmental thing. I mean, yeah, and it's too hot. Where else are you gonna hang out?
He said globally malls are dying, but what about locally? Because there must be a reason why there's just like 3 new malls in Jufair.
I would associate it with the fact that e-commerce penetration is still low in Bahrain.
Sorry, what'd you say?
E-commerce.
E-commerce penetration is still low in
Sounds
Bahrain.
dirty.
Oh my god.
What is that? Sorry.
So what you've got here is because e-commerce in the United States is just, or the West in general, is so rampant, for lack of a better term.
Right.
Brick and mortar has sort of taken a sidestep. So yeah, it's on a global basis, it's sort of falling down.
Yeah.
But in Bahrain, you still have a lack of e-commerce options. So these brick and mortars still have a sort of a fundamental reason to exist.
Right.
That being said, there is also, as Metruk so well put, there's that environmental issue. What's actually interesting is the modern mall that you know is actually a product of a man named Victor Grun. He's an Austrian architect.
Okay.
He was the first one to conceptualize this modern mall in the United States. The Muse.
Is he from like that Bauhaus lineage of people that did design and architecture?
I don't know what.
We will make your world make sense in a simple, clean fashion.
But apparently,
Then we will purge your people. No.
all these tips and all these tricks that you see in the mall are basically his brainchild. Where the mosaic.
Oh yeah. No.
Yeah, the mosaic.
He did that?
The calmness, the lighting that makes
I
you
hate him.
That makes you not realize what time of day it is outside.
That's like what they do in casinos.
Yeah, casinos. Yeah.
And by the way, that's by design, so that
Yeah.
you don't know how many hours you're sinking in the mall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it is a thing, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
It is a thing.
And by design, if you always notice that there's something called anchor tenants, which is these guys don't pay as much as the rest, like the supermarkets Carrefour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't pay a lot. Why? Because most of the time you're going there for them. So they're basically they're the anchor that gets you in, and if you always notice, they're always at the ends of the mall.
Yeah.
So it forces you to walk across the mall.
Yeah, I got a question. Is it a space thing as well? I mean, Bahrain is a tiny island.
Yeah.
So would it be more economical for a business to cramp every shop that they have into one center in order for it to be more accessible?
That's a good idea. That might be a good reason.
Yeah, that's the whole economics of space, right? Like, I don't want to deal with traffic. Let me go to one place. I can just finish it all and go home.
Because like if you go to like countries in Europe, going to a mall, man, you don't see like a lot of people in malls. It's
But back to your point, right? The weather,
yeah,
the weather
as well, and they're bigger countries as well. And we're talking about Bahrain. Bahrain is very limited in terms of space. So I think to answer Ali, in my opinion, and I don't know about you guys, but it's a space thing and an environmental thing.
I think, yeah. It's always like a combination of things, right? At the same time, we don't know where it's headed. And this takes me to the next question. This is from Tom.
Sure.
He's asking, what will Bahrain be like in 100 years?
Malls, just malls.
And 6-lane highways.
Yes.
Oh, that's my dream.
We're gonna be just like the States, man. Malls, mini malls, mega malls, and super huge highways.
Yeah, to be frank, I'm looking forward to that. I think they're doing a great job. And the roads.
Yeah, the roads, I'm actually really impressed.
I mean, right?
Like, do you remember how long it would take to get the congestion stuff sorted back when?
Yeah. Now look at it's almost like it's one step ahead. It's like we feel like there's a bit too much traffic here. Let's put a road here.
Yeah.
Look, in at the present moment, it's fucking annoying because they're still working on them.
Yeah.
But like there are some roads that they finished working on. It's like, oh my god, it's fucking. The road is so smooth. Everyone's moving along.
Yes.
There's no congestion.
Like, look at what they're doing for IKEA, for example. They're building an entire like new path out of the main highway. That's going to be a tunnel that just goes straight to IKEA, so you don't have to do that huge turnaround.
Oh, I hate that.
It's brilliant.
Right?
I fucking hate it.
And I would be like so pissed if I was IKEA. I'd be like, that should have been there before we built and put the money in and everything else.
I mean, it's a good thing to see that they're investing in infrastructure, widening the roads because there's so many fucking cars.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry. The question was, what's Bahrain like?
What is it going to be like in 100 years? What do you guys feel like?
I'm optimistic.
Yeah.
I'm optimistic. I mean, and I teach at this academy, and I see the sheer energy coming out these guys, these
Wow,
young.
I so want to hit you right now.
No, I mean, dude, honestly, if you see these young ladies and gentlemen, I mean, these guys are just, they come in, they're so active, they want to work, they want to learn, they just want to, dude, the dial's up to 150%.
You sound like you're going to run for office, bro. I feel like this is campaign 20, 2020.
I can
Will you be my manager?
I feel like
I can make a prediction.
Okay.
I think Bahrain right now is steering away from oil money. You know, they're sort of going where Dubai is going right now, where
Tourism?
Yeah, not basically infrastructure and business, finance. So basically to be a hub for a lot of businesses, because Bahrain used to be a huge hub for a lot of businesses and banks in the Middle East, and then Dubai sort of took over, and now Bahrain is like starting to, you know, be like, okay, we need to get this back.
Yeah.
So everyone knows, like, it's inevitable that we're eventually going to run out of fossil fuels or of oil money. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people are investing in renewable energy, and that's what Bahrain is doing.
But look, I'm going to be the negative for the sake of this podcast.
Please be the negative Nancy.
I'm going to be the negative Nancy, negative Nelly, negative Nejwa, whatever you want to call it, right? But for the sake of that, I'm going to just say, is a lot of that just fluff? Like, I work in the media. I'm not going to point fingers at anybody or specific or anything else.
So good being your friend.
I'm just going to say, I run into a lot of fluff. So it's like, oh, we're doing this for the environment, or we're doing this for blockchain, or what. It's
you just alienated all the future people you could interview.
Hey, I love. Listen, I'm a futurist.
This is the quietest I've ever heard this podcast.
I am. That's what I'm saying. I need to get a little bit of like ideas here clashing. All right. I genuinely, I'm a futurist. I love, and I'm very optimistic about the future. I feel like tech is going to open up a lot of avenues for smaller places and smaller economies like Bahrain.
It can go two ways with tech.
But I feel like there's a lot of fluff, and I'm speaking as somebody who's gone through the esports scene, for example. There's a lot of people that are pitching things that haven't really happened yet.
They're not materializing.
Yes, they want the money before they want to build the infrastructures of the communities around it.
Don't you think that, especially when sort of, I don't want to say rebuilding, but sort of reimagining an economy, or don't you think it's more appropriate to take it slow and steady rather than just change everything? And, people are going to lag behind, and they're going to be confused, and, well, what the fuck's going on? Why is this happening? So it's just better to take it slow and steady, implement it slowly, so that, less people will lag behind.
No, I get that. But I'm not making this criticism just about Bahrain. I just feel like the whole world has had this approach for the last, maybe I'd say 10 years, where there's this idea of sell it first.
How many years did you say?
10 years, I'm going to say.
That is so oddly, coincidental.
Why?
Because we've had a 10-year bull market.
What does that mean?
10 years, our global stock markets have gone up, specifically the United States.
Really?
And this is very curious. This is one of the longest runs in the market that we've ever seen. And no economist seems to know why.
Was it after the
that Trump, yo?
was it after the economic depression of 2008?
Yeah.
But isn't that normal? The forest fire kind of burns everything, and then things come back up stronger.
But for 11 years,
that means that the cycle is going to be worse when it crashes.
That's
right?
what a lot of people are predicting that, but a lot of people are saying, because the term that's being used is the Goldilocks economy. It's not too hot, not too cold.
Yeah.
So everything's moving just right. And some people have attributed the fact that it's technology, and our current economic model can't seem to understand how to implement this.
Or where the bubble is.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Yeah, where's this leading to?
Because you guys know it's there, you just don't know where it is.
Miguel, I'd love to hear your input on the question.
Yeah.
Is it? Hold on one sec. Let me just ask Bedouin something. Is it even a bubble? Because it might just be technology advancing.
That's what you bring up a very good question, because the more optimistic of the investors are saying, guys, for a bubble to happen, something must be mispriced.
Yeah.
But if it's real growth, like technology, then there's no reason to consider this a bubble. Then we could just keep going at this level.
But do you think that technological advancements, Miguel, is going to hit a plateau?
It's really hard to say, because we've been doing it for 2,000 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Ever since written civilization,
I get you. Okay.
We've been advancing like crazy.
No, but like nowadays you hear of new technologies virtually every day.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I
but
mean?
just to put
Just today, I was talking about a story on radio where there was like China had just genetically spliced pigs with monkey DNA.
oh god, that's it. End game, dude. Let's do it.
Fuck
What's
that.
the effects? What's the findings?
You
They're
get a
trying to
really
see-
useless pig.
I like.
You can get a pig that can finally look up.
Here's my argument, right? What the story they sell you, and this is what I mean by the fluff piece.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
The story they sell you is, oh, we're experimenting for future human organ growth outside of a human body and instead like in an animal host. Do you want to like grow an ear? Remember the mouse that had the ear?
Yeah.
Sure.
So that kind of stuff, right? Now all the pigs died. Every single one of them dead.
I see.
Now that's the fluff piece, but that's when like Boston Dynamics, like when they make robots, they're like, oh no, they're gonna help people, bro. They're gonna kill people.
Skynet.
That's why you're
Skynet.
building them.
Yeah.
Baby, Skynet is gonna start some way.
Not even if it's not even Skynet, bro. We just like stop acting like that's not gonna have a gun.
Are we gonna have?
Stop pretending that's not gonna be picking up a shotgun. The whole purpose you're building it for isn't to help disabled people. Yes, that's maybe 5%.
or we'll just live in a Cronenberg world.
You know what I mean, right?
Fuck, that's nasty. Shit.
This is what I'm saying. So I'm saying man, bear, pig, bro. They're like okay, yeah, we're gonna grow human organs, but if we could just happen to create a giant monster that can ravage through the front lines of a World War III environment, then hey,
Yeah, sure, we'll do that.
it's a byproduct, right?
But I mean, Bahrain in 100 years, you know, with global warming right now, is there even going to be a Bahrain in
That's
100
why I was
years?
not talking. That's why I was not talking. Because in my head, it's either we're going to be underwater or we're going to double our land size.
We're gonna double the land size.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna be that affected by.
Aren't we at sea level?
I'm more worried about the-
We are
We're at sea level, right?
yeah.
Okay.
But I'm not that scared about sea level rising for Bahrain just because of the nature of the Gulf, right? I worry about the temperature for us. This is the
Yeah.
worst year so far.
Yeah,
see what
and
you
every year they say it's the worst year.
Can we,
Worst year.
Khad, could we get like a reference for the listeners? What is our temperature today?
Today, I have no idea. Have you guys looked up?
20.
No, today
It's 23?
23.
Yeah,
Guys, it's
23
We're in
December.
December.
23 degrees Celsius.
We're about halfway through December.
Yeah,
That is insane.
By the way,
us.
for reference, that doesn't happen.
It's only rained twice now?
Yeah, it rained back in
Max,
November.
I'd say 3 times.
And then
Yesterday
last
was
night.
the
last
second
night,
time.
yeah.
And last night was the first time since early November.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not normal.
That's not normal at all.
And the weather in the summer for all our listeners, you know, around the world, it's
50.
it reaches 50 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but ironically, it's not as hot.
Celsius.
You know, yeah, Celsius.
Celsius.
There are some parts in Iran where it reaches 70 degrees Celsius.
Jesus Christ. But habitable areas?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
No. I think somewhere in the desert there, 70 degrees.
That's
Crazy.
That is fuck, man, 70 degrees.
I could cook.
Like, you can
I
make-
cook something. on
Just keep in mind, right? What scares me about that, the temperature, if our waters are so shallow that when it heats up, that's what kills all the life, all the wildlife, all the animals, all the fish, everything, because those fish were not designed for those temperatures.
No.
You see what I'm saying? So if you keep seeing the ecological damage that's happening, sure, a lot of people claim it's also the reclamation and everything else that's going on, but the overall, the Gulf itself is the one of the shallowest seas in the world, and because of that, that means you don't get that little drop in temperature a few feet down. So if you lose that, you lose everything else, and that's when you have the collapse of the ecosystem around everything else. And
Do you know that oceans are warmer in the winter than they are in the summer, right?
Why is that?
Because an ocean is such a huge body of water. So by the time it heats up in the summer, it's winter. I mean,
Yeah, that's why when you go to the beach, the water's cold.
yeah, I mean, you won't feel it, but like the average temperature in the winter is warmer than it is in the summer.
Yeah, I did that for my 8th grade project. Really? That's why I still remember it.
These motherfuckers are still in 4th grade, man. Yeah, fist bump. Give me a fist bump right here. Yeah, there we go. There we go.
You got a good ass memory. I don't remember anything.
It literally, because
it's another trait of sociopaths.
No, see, the how did I get this piece of information? In Morocco, obviously, we swim in the Atlantic Ocean. All right, so
You're not Moroccan, by the way.
No,
for
I'm not.
people that are
But I
asking,
frequent Morocco a lot. Not for the reasons you fucking perverts are
He's
thinking.
using the royal we.
Anyways, so I was talking to a surfer there, and I was telling him like, bro, like I know it's the Atlantic Ocean and all that, but it's fucking freezing.
Yeah.
And he told me oceans are colder in the summer
Yes.
and in the winter. And I fact checked this because I got a fact check, right? I'm not just gonna trust some guy.
As you do as you do when you're in Morocco in the summer.
I mean, he's a surfer laid back on the beach in the summer.
Was he a local or?
He was a local, yeah.
Okay.
He's actually a local legend.
Oh,
Like, yeah, they're like one of those like hardcore surfers. Like, dude, you should see like his upper body's like fucking insane, man. But anyways, I fact checked and it's actually true. They are, yeah.
I thought they were just colder because they were bigger bodies of water. So like for us, it's a smaller body of water. It's shallow, so it heats up really quickly.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, it takes some time for it to heat up
Fair enough.
and cool down.
That makes a lot of sense.
Have you ever swam in an ocean, Miguel?
No.
It's different, bro. The waves are massive.
Why are you talking to him like he's never seen the
No,
ocean?
because I figured
He's like you're like the little Congo boy.
because Miguel is from Miguel, you're from the Philippines, right?
Yes.
And you have the Pacific Ocean
But
there.
I'm from the coast. So
Maybe
I've had some
maybe you should have fact checked your host
Yeah.
first.
I've had some experience with the. Can you even swim in the ocean? Isn't the sea the one that's close to the beach?
You mean is the water by the beach? Yes.
The sea, right?
Well,
No, there's a difference between seas and oceans.
yes.
Yeah. So which one is sea? Which one is ocean? I sound really stupid, right?
No.
I was gonna be like,
I don't
Miguel,
blame
are
you
you having a
because
stroke?
But you know what? I'm willing to learn. You know what? That's the thing about me. So what's the difference between a sea and an
Don't
ocean?
ask me that question because I can't like put it into words.
I see.
I thought
think
oceans were the big bodies
Yeah,
of water.
the
where it
oceans
was.
are the huge bodies of
like
water,
the
and
Atlantic, the Pacific.
and the seas are basically what is
Small boys.
Yeah.
smaller bodies that are
Like even some trapped bodies of water that
this
are
is
inland can be called a sea.
embarrassing right now.
I see.
Yeah,
Do you see what I'm saying?
I see.
So there are some bodies of water that are trapped that are called seas.
Yeah,
But-
so apparently seas are usually smaller and less deep than oceans. An ocean is a vast and continuous frame of salty
That's
water
the one,
that
yes.
shelters almost 70% of the total
Yeah.
Earth's surface.
So a sea can also be like fresh water.
Yeah, hence the Dead Sea. Dead Sea is small.
Yes. There you go.
Okay.
Dead Sea is pretty cool though.
So can an ocean touch a
Float
shore?
there.
Can the
yeah.
ocean? Yes, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Like
Okay.
California, for example.
Learn something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Biggest, Morocco as well.
Yeah.
I mean the whole east coast of Morocco is the Atlantic Ocean.
Okay, so I have swum in an ocean.
Sorry, no, west coast, not east, west. Yeah.
Okay.
West.
Miguel, you were being very pedantic.
What do you mean?
You were being specific,
Why are
like
you guys using big words today?
like not, like he was being technical, like because he was like, did you ever
Yeah.
swim in the ocean?
Yes.
And he was like, no.
He wanted to make sure he was getting his
I want
facts
to be
right.
specific. If I not any water,
Both of you
ocean.
because both of you today were in such like research modes. Like we cannot say one way or another. If
I see.
ocean. So both me and Miguel are like, what the fuck? Are we writing a peer-reviewed research paper? Are we on a podcast?
Wait, because I don't know. You can't see better, but he's in his work uniform.
Yes,
he's in his
he
suit and
is.
tie.
Yeah.
And I just came back from uni, so we just got this whole like working
see.
thing going,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
See, I know why Better has to like make sure he gets his shit straight because he's actually got a job that relies on it. Especially when it goes to the finance. What's your fucking excuse?
I just don't like giving people false information.
No, fair enough.
I love it.
You know,
You're
there's
so careful. You're like lawyer-like.
there is an arrogance that exists in a lot of Arabs. Like they will insist that the information they're giving you, even if they know it's false, they'll insist that it's true. I mean, there's
That shit is universal.
I think
by the
everybody
way.
doesn't take us seriously, though. I don't think it. You're assuming a level of
Just to get
credibility.
back to you, Badr, I'm stupid, but I'm specific.
No, that wasn't a stupid that wasn't a stupid question at all.
But yeah, there's a bunch of water out there, bros.
a lot of water. Not on Mars, unfortunately.
So I feel my prediction, at least for 100 years for Bahrain, is Bahrain will probably be, like I said.
What's the word?
I'm looking for the right word here.
What's the word? The suspense is killing
I'm
me.
telling you, man.
It's
looking-
killing me.
And then he throws the wrong word. It'll be
Duvet.
I feel like
It's gonna be duvet.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't got pedantic. I don't have those words. Not today. I don't.
This was a callback to 2 episodes back.
I know. I think Bahrain is, I'm not going to speak. We covered the environmental side of things, right? I don't know what it's going to look like with all the reclamation. I know there's concerns of it either way. There's a lot of reclamation going on that's dangerous and messing up stuff, and there's stuff that's been carefully regulated. But The thing I want to comment on is I think Bahrain's economy is eventually going to open up because of desperation. I feel like we're going to be one of the most competitive ones because we're going to recognize that, hey, we can't, if we just stop trying to compete with the others and just look at what they don't have that they could never have.
Okay.
We could position ourselves as global leaders in something because of the uniqueness of the island.
By the way, you make a point. That's an actual economic theory. It's called a comparative advantage. It's to look inside and see what you're really good at producing and focus on that.
Yes.
And trade with somebody else for what they're good
Aluminium.
at.
Exactly.
Aluminium, bro.
We don't even have our own bauxite anymore.
we process it. We do something with aluminium.
I'm talking in the world of data, there's certain things that you can't change. So for example, Bahrain's position globally, as far as like a server farm. I think all of Bahrain, like half of the island should just be a server farm
Holy shit.
for the rest of the region.
And
way.
have the rest of the world curse at us every time they're lagging.
Yes. And then you intentionally you do what I'm not going to mention the telecom company, where you just scale down their.
Oh, dude, you don't want to walk down that road,
I'm
dude.
doing it. I'm doing it. Right? You throttle them down whenever you don't like what they're doing, and you throttle them back up.
Dude, no, there's that thing. What's it called? That thing, that concept.
Oil.
No, where you like based on how much you pay, you discriminate people from usage of the internet. There was a whole case about it. Even Steve Wozniak was
In the US?
Right. Yes, yeah. They were like, they went out to Washington like, guys, you can't do this. What?
Oh, there was I can't remember the name of I know what you're talking about. It's the thing the bill that they wanted to run where people basically get to segment the internet and own the rights to your bandwidth. So they get to, like, for example, if you want to get on Google and Google's that line that feeds into those servers the rights was owned by, say, Time Warner.
Sure.
If you were on their network, your access to Google would be 10 times faster.
Yeah.
Whilst if you was on a Verizon-based network, there you go onto Google and it's just slow as hell.
Yeah.
So it would be throttled down. I see. Because they wouldn't own. It's kind of like the rights to airlines, the flight rights.
Yeah.
There used to be that didn't exist back in the day. Like that's the reason kind of price for flights went up in the States and stuff. There was a lot of changes to the way the regulatory authority worked because it started getting privatized. It wasn't run by the same federal kind of organization. Can't remember what it was called. But then that's why ticket prices changed, and they were trying to get people more competitive pricing.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's all about who owns the flight plan and path to this area, this part of the world.
Wow, Khalid, today you were connecting so many dots.
Oh, yeah.
Bro.
Because when you were saying about Bahrain having comparative advantage,
yes,
one of the things that Bahrain has a very excellent strategic position is the flight path.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every time a plane crosses Bahrain airspace, they pay Bahrain. We are in such a critical, strategic area that we get so many planes crossing us that don't even land.
And our airspace is huge.
Yes.
Huge. Like, I saw the chart. It is fucking huge.
So there you go. I feel like if we double down on that kind of stuff, now we already have it when it comes to like flight paths and let's say even the military bases, you could count it as that unique position that they would always need to be here.
Sure.
Because that's their platform for the rest of the Gulf, right?
You're talking about the U.S. naval bases.
In that sense, right? But if we move away from that, you just look at tech, even when you come to esports and gaming, whenever we had to kind of officiate between different teams that were playing from different parts of the countries, like somewhere in the Middle East, let's say North Africa, and then a Dubai team, when they couldn't figure out which server to agree on because either they'd have to host or the other team would have to host, and they're like, oh, they have a competitive advantage, the server's right next to them, they would always pick Bahrain as the neutral party,
neutral zone
to everybody else.
That's cool, man.
We could be Switzerland.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Switzerland.
So that's my prediction. For 100 years, we should do that.
My prediction will fall under the same line as your predictions, is that in order to look at Bahrain 100 years in the future, you have to look at Bahrain 100 years into the past. And Bahrain 100 years ago obviously is way different. Well, it was way different than Bahrain now. As in, we constantly evolved, we're constantly growing. And I think the next 100 years is going to be the same. I mean, sure, it might be slow and steady, but I agree with the whole slow and steady thing. Like, just, baby steps, and eventually you'll reach whatever you'll want to reach.
Fair enough.
Better.
No, I was thinking about that because I was thinking if you want to look 100 years into the future, I don't think looking 100 years in the past is is the best way to do it because progress is not linear, right?
Yeah,
But
there are game changers, is what you're
Yeah,
saying. There are
yeah.
things that change the whole thing.
And Badr, can you talk about this? When you deal with a lot of statistics, right? And when you're predicting with an economy, is the best way to look in the past?
No, because
Past data?
we specifically when it comes to economic data, what we tend to have distinct periods, and we actually say the parameters shift.
Like the Industrial Revolution, for example.
For example, like you wouldn't compare, you wouldn't value companies today based on the metrics that you saw in the Industrial Revolution because, I mean, even the top 5 companies now are all, what are the FANGs, the Facebook, the Apple, Amazon, Netflix. Come on, like 100 years back, there were chemical companies and steel and all this other stuff.
Yeah. DuPont.
Yeah, but I'd like to go back to your point because you were talking about tech, right? And what's amazing is that, tech always, there's this kind of weird cycle that tech comes up. People tend to exaggerate it. A bubble somehow appears and then it pops.
Yeah.
Like, for example, it was a dot-com bubble.
Yes,
Back in the late 90s. Everybody wanted a website, and then they realized, I don't need a website specifically for toilet paper.
Yes.
Right? And then that popped, right? And then now we have this age of Internet of Things, right? Like your mic. I think at one point we're going to realize we don't need to connect the internet to the microwave. Right?
Yeah.
But
the technology will keep moving forward. It's just the
technology will-
specific aspects of it that will die.
But the thing is, Khalid, what's astounding about specifically this Internet of Things is the rate of adoption. Like there's this great study by a company called Neuberger Berman, which is another asset manager, and what they did is they saw the rate of adoption of the different technologies all the way back to. And I'm not.
Why are you laughing?
I'm not making a
Sorry,
joke.
I'm thinking about like
You thought
orphanages.
I knew it. I swear to God, I knew it.
Sorry.
I swear.
Where did you get
His
orphanages?
I know
Rate
because
of adoption.
his sick mind went exactly
Oh
where I
my
went.
God, dude.
I knew it.
Dude.
I knew it.
You shouldn't have brought it up. I,
I didn't
wasn't
bring
going
it
to say
up.
anything.
I just saw you laugh. I was like,
He smirked, right?
Okay, keep going. Sorry.
So they compared basically the first technology that was listed was the rate of use of the toilet bowl. Like,
oh,
yeah, and all the way over to today, which is the Internet of Things, and the rate of adoption that we've seen in Internet of Things has been the highest of any technology ever.
damn.
Which makes me think, God damn, how many people did not use the toilet for this?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, guys, look, this is a great invention. No,
Right?
no, we're gonna get you in the dirt.
And you know that guy was probably so proud of the fact he's like, I got the toilet, bro. I sorted it out.
Yeah.
All right, I got a new thing for you right now. A bidet. And people are like,
That's where they stopped.
yeah, that's what it
apparently.
says. See, it's a
We took
one
the
hit
next
wonder.
level with the shattafa, bro.
I knew I should have listened to Gary.
The eastern hemisphere of the planet, yeah, maybe. Then the west was like, this is dirty dancing. There was never a sequel. But yeah, that's an interesting fact, man. I didn't know that. All right. So we've all kind of chimed in on the 100 years in Bahrain type of thing.
Sure.
I'm going to move on. I wanted to get onto other stuff, but dude, we're already almost an hour and 27 minutes.
We did an hour
fast.
40 last time.
Did we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, no way. All right. So I'll leave it for the last one that seemed to have had the most popular, like when I kind of surveyed other people, I was like, would you like this question the most? It seemed like, and don't worry guys, I'll queue these up for the next one. So we'll come back to the others.
Yeah.
But this is one that popped.
This is the one that popped for a lot of Bahrainis.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
Is it time for Jan Burger to make a comeback?
Yes.
Guys, I
What do you mean?
One word answer, yes.
my lovely brothers, I don't even know why this is a question.
Exactly.
Guys, this
What is-
you are talking about a national treasure here, sir.
Yes.
What is it about that?
It doesn't matter.
It-
It doesn't matter. It doesn't.
Consistency.
Consistency.
Consistency. You look at all these fucking burger joints popping up in Bahrain.
Right.
They're never fucking consistent.
None of them.
You go to John Burger, you know what the fuck you're going to order all the time. The menu is simple, it's straightforward. It's a burger and some fries and a Pepsi. That's it. You wanted chicken, you wanted a double, and that's the menu's straightforward. Okay?
Right.
And it's consistent all the fucking time. No matter which branch you go to, it's the same taste.
Now, is it John or is it Jan? Because by the way, I was never part of the
John.
Because the time when you guys were going crazy over that, I was still living in Saudi, so
John
I never
Burger.
got the full
I don't even
experience.
know why we all just agreed it was John.
John, yeah.
All right.
I don't know if it's Jan but yeah, everyone says John Burger.
Okay,
More
so
Jan,
what-
like maybe chicken nuggets will say Jan Burger. Like
Jan
fuck
Burger.
off.
Jan Burger. It's not Jenna. What's Jan Burger?
Go have your sliders, you piece of
You
shit.
realize you're a chicken nugget, right?
I'm not.
You're
I'm
coconut?
not.
You are so American. It's crazy.
I'm like half chicken nugget. You know what I mean?
How can you be half chicken nugget? What,
Like I got enough like
street cred? Is that the word you're looking for?
street cred Gardi Bahraini vibes in me. Fucking
So you're,
like,
you're a Mitchboos flavored chicken nugget.
yeah, there we go. There we go.
That's good as fuck, actually.
Right? I'd try that.
Yeah.
I'd try
Chicken nugget with a bit of ma'bouch on top, man. That's what it is.
Tahina. Give me some tahina.
that. So what happened to it?
Wait, something happened to it?
I don't know. I'm asking,
that's-
why is he asking about a comeback? What's going on?
A lot of people forgot about it. I mean, look, the John Burger was huge back in like the early 2000s when it first opened up. So a lot of Bahrainis were like in your age group. I mean, people from
No, I remember people doing.
yeah, I'd say about 28 right now to 35. They remember John Burger very fondly.
Yeah.
But it sort of died down after all these burger places started opening up, and people were like, "Oh, I'll get a better burger. Oh, fuck John Burger, man! I got my friend got food poisoning once from it or some
Dare
shit."
you, sir? That's not even funny as a joke.
Fucking hell, man! Like it's like oh, my friend got food poisoning. We're like, fuck off.
By the way,
man.
guys, I never, like, we gotta make this clear. Did you ever hear somebody get food poisoning?
From John Burger.
Yeah. And that's a hard no for me.
I mean, a friend of a friend of a friend told me that their friend got like food poisoning. You know what I mean? It's like the
I've never heard it. I know, like, for me, growing up when I was in Saudi, there was the same phenomenon with al-Bake.
bake, yeah.
Al-Bake. It was just ridiculously, like, that's the
Dude, you know what's
loyalty.
weird? The amount of white guys that were like hassling me to get, because I went to, I once went to Jeddah. And like, oh, you got to get al-Bake. I'm like, you're white. And like, why am I taking advice from you?
But that's the trick, right? Like, it's not that it's bad. It's actually decent food. I like al-Bake when I tried it.
Yeah.
But the thing is that it's actually the legend of it that lives on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
that's the
the-
problem. Like, I got disappointed. Like, it was
That's what
okay. It
happens.
was good. It was fine. It was good. Okay. But like, they hyped it up so
That's
much.
exactly what happens to every Bahraini that tries it.
You know,
Every single one.
There are a lot of restaurants that also imitate al-Bake.
Yeah.
And I think they're opening a branch in Bahrain.
But you know what?
I think so.
No, they've been saying that for years. You know,
I think in the airport, in the new airport terminal,
I
yes.
doubt it.
Man.
They haven't opened it in any other part of Saudi.
You guys
part of its mystique is the fact that they only
That's
get it from
that's the
Jeddah.
thing that makes the
it's
legend.
like,
by
it's
the
like
way.
In and Out.
Because it doesn't make exactly, but In and Out they at least there are other In and Out branches in the States.
Yeah.
but it's specifically certain ones in California that are considered the legit ones.
Yeah.
right. But with al-Bake, it's like the legend of it, the mystique, part of maybe the genius marketing is that they always people are coming up with concocting stories as to why they never expanded. Because if you hit it big in Saudi, everybody wants to expand to the other parts of the country to make millions, right?
Yeah.
Especially with like all the big fast food chains like Herfy and whatever the other ones are. Kudo, yeah, exactly. So they didn't, and everybody was like, why? And there was like these rumors that they didn't want to get cut from percentages from some of the royal families, and they made up so many stories that are not necessarily have any truth to them.
Sure.
But that added to the legend.
The mystique.
Yeah, exactly.
Metruk. So where I told you, like, I was saying my white colleagues were telling me,
Yeah.
to the extent that, dude, what al-Bake actually has something called an airport box.
Slide it over.
They actually have something called an airport box. So they know these guys are flying in for meetings, and they're gonna go. They're gonna fly out, and they're gonna just stop off al-Bake just for a box to go to the airport.
No way.
Yeah, there's actually something called an airport box.
Actually, a friend of mine recently, Zubari,
Yeah.
Zubari, who we're gonna have soon on the
He's
podcast.
saying his name like he's an entity, not a person.
He kind of
The Zubari.
the Zubari, right? So they went to Riyadh. I think they have a branch in Riyadh, right?
I don't know.
No, sorry, they went to Jeddah.
Yeah, it's
I think,
only in Jeddah.
Yeah. They went to Jeddah for a wrestling show, the WWE, and he brought over some sandwiches for us, and I didn't get to try it. I don't know why, but that's there is a huge thing with al-Bake.
Yeah,
like people were telling him,
fly with it
"Please
to bring it
get
to
us."
other parts
Yeah.
of the country. Yeah, that's literally no joke.
Yeah.
Miguel, is there anything like that in the Philippines?
Jolly Bees.
Not balut, though, please.
Yo, do you guys know about balut?
I do, yeah.
Does everyone know about
No,
balut?
what is
No,
balut? Please.
I thought it was
It's,
Saudi card game. Okay.
No. Balut is so egg develops from a yolk into a chick,
Sure.
right? It's the in between of a chick and a yolk.
Oh, we got something like that. Like addition.
This is literally the embryo of
Yeah.
a little baby chick that's still in the egg.
Yeah, the Egyptians have a dish like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they have
I-
a bunch of stuff that's weird.
Yeah.
Wow, I thought you guys were gonna be weirded out by that because a lot of people are.
Different folks for different folks.
I
baby.
spent a
Yeah.
month in the Philippines.
Did you try it?
No, the only thing I didn't. I couldn't.
Were you too?
I ate the chicken feet. Mm-hmm. That I tried. I actually didn't.
Yeah.
I like that.
What are they called, by the way? Chicken feet?
We have. I forgot.
There's a...
Adidas. No, that's not it. We have
It's something adobo. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, I did not try it. Even though I was thinking maybe I'm gonna like get myself into the right mindset throughout the trip. Never happened.
It's very weird.
I'm sure.
Even for me, but it tastes so good. Okay, but it's really weird feeling in your mouth because you get the
But do you go quick in, or do you have to crunch?
quick in, as in like I
Like you
swallow
just
it?
swallow?
No, you gotta
have to-
crunch a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah, you gotta suffer a little bit.
No,
But
you can't. Do
sorry,
that.
what was your question?
The question is, was there something like that's like a phenomenon that like that people have an insane level of loyalty to? And I saw the Jollibees
like
everywhere.
a restaurant chain or something.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Jollibee is like the McDonald's there.
Yeah.
It's not like a legend, right?
It's a little bit smaller. It's not a phenomenon, just like you said, but every area has a specialty dish. So if you go to a coastal area, maybe they make crab paste, shrimp paste, something like that.
Yeah,
you got to
yeah,
take that
yeah.
home to your family because it does taste good.
Oh man, now I want to try that.
If you go to a mountainous area like Baguio, they have strawberry plantations there. You go take that home to your
Yeah.
family.
No way, they got strawberries in the Philippines?
Yeah.
Baguio's chocolate mountains.
No,
bro.
really,
Boy.
that's what's going to make you fly over the strawberries, right? Like you were like on the fence. And
I
oh,
went
they
to
got
I went to the Philippines once. I was in Manila.
It's a beautiful country,
yeah.
bro.
Yeah, Manila. I feel like I didn't experience the Philippines because I went to Manila.
Manila, man, I felt bad when I was there though, because Manila is such a hard city.
Definitely.
It's such a hard city.
like how hard are we talking about here?
Like
Detroit
no,
hard?
worse. Like it's if not, I'm not talking about like it's just the economic disparity, the stuff that's going on, the crime, the what the kids have to go through. It's just such a contrast from Manila
Sure.
to the other parts of the Philippines. Because the other
Yeah,
parts,
the provinces they call them, right?
Yeah.
Is it provinces? Yeah.
because you got like really educated people, really well like developed people that are working in business and industry and everywhere else, and these different parts of the city, the country, that are like spot on working like it's like a European town.
Like
and
it's not a third world
yeah,
country.
it's such a weird thing for me to see. And then
This is Manila.
no, outside. I'm talking about like if you go to like let's say Iloilo or there's a manufacturing town. I forgot what it was called. Is it Iloilo that I'm talking about? I think it might be.
Okay.
I'm not sure,
Even
but
I don't know.
but there was a bunch of them anyway. But the point is that I spent time there and I was surprised by that contrast. When you go outside, people are so nice. Like it felt like I was in the 1950s US.
Sure.
Yeah.
It was that level of
Warm.
like,
There's heart to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
so much.
I'm surprised you didn't get mugged.
I was too.
Yeah.
I
'cause
stayed
you
in
went
Makati, bro. I didn't.
Holy fucking
I didn't go outside.
Can I pose?
I peeked outside. That was
Can
about
I
it.
pose a question to you?
Yeah.
Do you think that's just a phenomenon in every capital city? Like in that people are just generally rougher there as a city, and generally the areas outside are usually nicer, softer.
I see what you mean, because in Manila, it's more dense than everywhere else.
Yeah.
Right? So just like everything else, the poverty is focused as well.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
we got slums there that they're trying to cover up because it's in the view of the nice places.
Yeah,
Did you know about that?
No.
They're trying to put in, this is old, this is like 10 years ago, but they're trying to, so there are slums and there are good areas in Manila as
Yeah.
well.
Sure.
They try to cover the slums with billboard, like massive billboards.
Yeah.
No
so
way,
that
really?
the traffic doesn't see
You wouldn't
the
know.
poor areas.
Shit.
They have that sky road thing that you just go up above everything. I
Yeah.
remember that. Stuff.
Something like that.
India,
so weird.
India don't cover it up.
I don't think they
India,
can.
you can. I don't think they have the budget, dude. You can literally like with India, you can literally see the divide.
Dude, that's the messed up thing with that dude's $1 billion tower thing. That's
Yeah.
like right in front of the slums.
Right in front of the slums.
How do you
that's
have the
that's what I was gonna
balls?
say. Yeah.
Seriously.
How do you have the balls to do that? Do you know what I mean?
Like he just built this
Psychopaths.
huge fuck off house right in front of the slums.
Yeah.
That's so messed up, man. I saw that happen kind of in Miami as well. There was a lot of like what I call teleportation, where you're just like kind of like going by in the car maybe or something, like you're in an Uber and you just see like ghetto, like McMansions like in Coconut Grove right next to it, right? I think we talked about this in the podcast once, but when you go and see it in the Philippines, I'm surprised because everybody in the outside, they're really different, but they're also well armed. so many guns.
Oh yeah.
I was
Wait, what?
really
Guns
surprised.
in Manila? What? In the Philippines?
Dude, like, you think the States has a lot of guns? You have not been to the Philippines.
No way.
If you don't have a 45 in your house,
Holy shit. A 45.
you're fucked.
Yeah.
A fucking 45.
I met so many people that were like gunsmiths. Like they could like if you picked them up, you brought them anywhere in the world, they have the skills to just craft a gun wherever they are.
You know when you say gunsmith outside of any other context, it sounds
It's like
cool,
right?
But because the backdrop is something scary, I'm like, oh wow, gunsmith is terrible.
Take a rusted metal and just pound it into a gun.
You know what I love about the Philippines? You can buy like one cigarette from like the stores.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that is something that we
That
don't
used to
have.
be a thing here, though. That used to be a thing.
Was it?
We used to do that in East Coast Saudi a while, but smaller. Like, what are you guys doing?
Bahrain just won the Gulf Cup.
Oh no way!
Congratulations,
For
Bahrain.
the first-
Oh my
Congratulations, Bahrain.
This is insane.
Come on.
This is one of the reasons we didn't expect to have this podcast be this important, because nobody knew they would get this far.
Yeah.
Like, guys, I was literally on the radio before this podcast. I was promoting it like crazy, and everybody was. A lot of people were like, "Oh, they're not going to win. They're not going to win."
No, we're proud of our boys in red, man.
Oh yeah.
How
man.
much
Proud
was
of
the
our boys
score?
in red. 1-0.
1-0.
And
yeah.
by the way, to put it in context, Saudis are titans. I mean, that's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
that is not an easy team.
That's
to
crazy.
play against.
Their goalkeeper is a beast.
Yeah, I mean,
And it's our first time. It's our first time winning the Gulf Cup ever. Like in
Oh,
50
that's
years.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like in 50 years.
and,
yeah.
and you want to hear what's even worse? We initiated that cup.
That's why people said, "Bring it back."
Yeah,
right?
we actually initiated that idea.
Oh
Like, we should
yeah,
have a Gulf Cup.
football's coming. Yeah, it's coming home.
You guys, can you imagine what's outside right now?
Oh my god.
Oh, I hate to drive home right now.
Oh, dude, I think we're just slipping over now. I think we're just
Holy
sleeping.
fuck.
I hope they give us a vacation tomorrow.
You know what's actually similar to this? Apparently, Austria and Germany like have a similar thing where Austria's like kind of because it's a smaller team.
Yeah.
Like I went to their museum and they literally recorded the last time they beat them. So I think it's actually going to be in our museum at one
That's
point.
No way.
Probably.
This is an epic moment to have the recording. I was feeling
Yeah.
bad by the fact that we couldn't watch it. I was feeling bad for you guys because I'm not that much. I admitted it on the radio today. I was like, I'm not much of a football guy, and I was asking people, is it weird? I don't like promoting something I'm not into. It's like when if I'm into Star Wars, we talked about this before. I don't want to say, oh, don't get involved in Star Wars. You're not elite. You weren't there from the beginning. Like, I don't want to be that exclusionary hipster, right?
You don't want to be a gatekeeper.
Listen, whatever it is your thing is. I mean, like
But you know what I mean? People do that for the World Cup. They only care about that. And it's the US as well. They do that. It's like, oh, the World Cup, and America gets into it for like two minutes.
Hey man, whatever makes you happy, right?
I guess in this situation, everybody should be happy.
Yeah.
Oh man, full time. Khalas,
That's it.
Yeah, we won.
Let's get it.
Last words, guys. Last words.
there's a
right?
vacation tomorrow.
If you'll allow me, I'm sorry.
wait.
It's because due to ethics. The study I referenced with regards to art is by Ashenfelter and Grady, 2006. I have to reference everything.
All right. Okay.
Sorry about that.
I'm gonna edit it out. Just
Just to spite him. It's not a fucking thesis, bro.
No, but I'm actually required by like ethical and charter rules.
Fair enough.
I
he
see.
has
I
to
see
do
what
it.
you mean.
Matruk is the one that doesn't have it.
I'm like a fucking mercenary, bro.
He's trying to be a better person. He's trying to learn from better. He's like,
We
I
tried,
want
bro. We tried.
credibility.
So congrats to Bahrain for winning the Gulf Cup.
Yeah. Yeah. Congrats.
we're
Does
proud
this
of
mean
you.
we get a day off tomorrow?
We don't know.
We don't know.
There was a rumor apparently.
Yeah, there was a rumor.
Possibly, maybe.
Have to do it.
Maybe.
Why do we we didn't even do anything? Like,
No, not for us. I'm not getting a day off no matter what.
The
But
first time in 50 years, man. I mean, it's a point of national pride at this point. Like, fuck, man. 50
Right?
years, yeah. Yeah.
crazy, man.
Crazy shit.
All right.
All right.
That's a beautiful way to end it, guys.
Yeah,
It
man.
is, it is.
What a
All
way.
right, congratulations to the island and the rest of the world. Check out hashtag Bahrain because it's blowing up right
Yeah.
now.
Oh, yeah.
Jack
I
Dorsey
bet.
is like losing a server or two. Twitter's gone down. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. It's been the Bedouin Banter podcast with me, Khalid Dosri.
Ahmed Matrou.
Miguel.
And better.
Better. The B-Man.
I shouldn't have said my last name. Fuck. Can you edit that out?
Sure.
Actually.
Sure.
Yeah.
Jesus.
All right, guys. And please don't forget, like, share, subscribe, and give us, guys, comments. Do you want this to go longer? Do you feel like it's not long enough? Is it too long? Do you want more topics that are different? Keep feeding us stuff. Give us feedback. Tell us that we're crap. We're good.
Please just shoot me any DM on the Bedouin Banter account, and we'll definitely cover it.
All
Trying to
right.
get some pussy. Oh, by the way, my mom listened to this, so next time I'm on, I'm gonna try my best not to say stupid shit.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
What did you get in trouble for?
No, I didn't get in trouble.
it the Philadelphia stuff?
She supports Duterte.
Oh!
So I got in trouble for that. So we talked for like 2 hours.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, go check out the last episode. All right, that's it. All right, peace out, guys.